CGM Studios presents the Two Bleed Blunt Show.
They'll never understand where I came from. Had to take it all, cause nobody ever gave nothing.
I'm here with one of the mad scientists of the city. You already know how we splash. You know it's a collective splash. But right now we gotta put a beacon on Empire the Great. What's up with you, fam? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just happy to be here.
Oh man, we happy to have you here, man. We live and direct in CGM Studios, a facility that's conceptualized by yourself. Hats off to that, first of all.
Appreciation.
Collective round of applause.
Appreciation around the board.
Black-owned business, yes, sir. My first question for you, from your style of production, brother, is anything safe in terms of sonically that you won't sample? Is there anything safe that you won't sample? Is anything off limits?
The Beatles. Don't sample the Beatles.
Never. You'll never sample the Beatles.
If you plan on putting it out, no.
But I mean.
Besides that, Bob James. Yeah, you got to be careful with Bob James samples. He will come take 100% of your publishing.
Okay, you going based on the.
Yeah, I mean, I don't just produce for fun, obviously. I produce for placements and different things like that. So for me, certain, things you stay away from. But for the most part, not really. As far as genres and stuff, nothing's off limits.
And now I got to segue into another slice of the cake in this interview. That you do have placements, that you have had more than one placement that's been placed nationally.
Definitely.
Does that inspire you to focus more on the production aspect and maybe less more of a rapper, or are you still at full speed on both?
For me, I've always since I picked up production, I've kind of just teetered both. It doesn't really make me do one thing more at all.
It doesn't influence you at all one way or the other?
No, because I make a good amount of beats whether I was rapping or not anyway, so not really.
A good amount of beats. That's funny you say that. I think it's comical you say that, in fact. Because a good amount of beats for somebody will be maybe 3 beats a day.
Sometimes.
We're looking at...
Sometimes 1 beat. Sometimes 1 beat a week.
Right.
Sometimes 10 beats a week.
That's healthy for some people.
But overall, when it all adds up, there's a good amount of beats there.
I mean, he's being modest now, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, this motherfucker will pump 7 beats in a day. That's like on a norm. 6,
this guy right
5,
here.
6. He being super modest. You know what? That's okay. But hey, we know the truth. I know the mechanics out there. And speaking of mechanics, your top 3 beat mechanics. Your top 3, man. And no specific order.
3 producers. We'll go Jay Dilla for like the underground hip hop lane.
Of course.
For like a mainstream lane, I would say like a Timberland. Timberland is one of the.
I'm shocked. Okay.
And
Timberland.
We would have to say Dr. Dre. I mean, being from the West Coast, just that's top 3 overall.
Bro, I'm super shocked at your selection.
And I mean, I like a lot of young producers that are in the game, but I feel like their resume hasn't all the way gotten to that point to where they can be labeled a top 3 producer. But
well said.
And, producing doesn't necessarily mean you like play the keys or even make the beat. Sometimes Quincy Jones was one of the best producers of our time, and Quincy Jones didn't really play no instruments like that.
Definitely more organic approach. Those 3 definitely I'm kind of rocked with that. And speaking of getting rocked, I was also rocked by your approach with the whole Ab-Soul versus K-Dot, and you feeling that Ab-Soul is just a more well-rounded artist than K-Dot.
No, I wouldn't say that. I just said to me, Ab-Soul's a better artist to me.
To you, Ab-Soul's a better artist.
Yeah, because this is a thing for Kendrick is more for the surface. So he's gonna talk about Christians, Muslims, all of the things that you would see on Fox 40 per se. Ab-Soul's a little bit more deeper in detail. So for people that drift off and know about the original 13 families and maybe some deeper things, that's where Ab-Soul kind of touches. So I would say Kendrick is definitely a better surface rapper, but when it comes for like stuff that I need to feed what I have going on, I'm gonna go with Ab-Soul.
Right. For more vitamins.
Yeah, I mean he did a whole song about the pineal gland. Half of y'all don't even know what your pineal gland is. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I know.
Exactly.
But you know, when you gonna lace me up like you're supposed to. But I mean, with that being said, though, I mean, in all honesty, when you say surface, do you think that maybe that's kind of like discrediting Kendrick's?
No, not at all. Because at the end of the day, surface popularity is always going to be looked at as greater than stuff that is like, we would say, underground per se. So Ab-Soul will never have the numbers that Kendrick has. But numbers aren't necessarily a reflection of how dope somebody is. Look at Mobb Deep. Like Prodigy sold 20s of millions of copies, but he's still a lot of people's favorite rapper at the end of the day.
Right, you got the hearts and the minds of the people.
Yeah, so sometimes it's not about the sales. You know what I mean? If that was the case, then I guess Lil Uzi or one of these guys should be your favorite rapper if you wanted to look at sales. But that's usually not the case. You know,
it's not the case.
Nas never outsold Jay-Z. You know what I mean? But a lot of people look at Nas as their favorite rapper. I'm one of those people where I look at Nas as my favorite rapper. But Jay-Z has definitely outsold Nas. You know what I mean? But when it was time to battle, he got ethered. So
I'm glad you can realize that as a fan. That's good.
Nas murdered him.
And speaking of something a little bit in a similar lane of culture, but not too intricate, we had a discussion, and you told me that out of Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff on Fresh Prince, that Will Smith had a better hairline.
No, I didn't say hairline. You said haircut.
Same thing, haircut, hair. No. I mean, tomato, brother.
Two different things.
Listen,
and back then they didn't have lineups back then. They had shape ups, so we already went over that. They didn't even have a razor sharp like we got today. They
have you seen the opening credits with Fresh Prince here?
So what we'll say is, you know, what I was saying is the fade on Will Smith was definitely cleaner. Now the shape up on Jazzy Jeff was doper. We talked about that. It was Steve Harvey sharp. We already know that. But at the same time, whose fade was cleaner? Will Smith's, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Jay, man.
Yeah,
Jazzy Jeff.
I'll go with Jazzy Jeff's shape up for sure. You know, but Will Smith's fade was cleaner. Go back, look at the tapes, man.
Will Smith had a fucking bowl cut. It was just like hair and then just straight to skin. Nothing in between.
Hey, man, I don't know what episode he was watching.
Fuck it, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what episode he was on. Yeah, late 80s era definitely is coming back. That's all you seeing. You seeing the flip up biker hats. A lot of the white men can't jump, like that 92 vibe.
All that shit's coming back. Ain't nothing new.
You know, so ain't nothing really new under the sun. You know,
loving it.
Except for man bags.
Oh yeah, we'll cover that on another show. That's horrible. It's just horrid.
No, I mean, you know, whatever floats your boat. You know.
Yeah, I get it. He got bands and all that shit. I feel it. I just wanted to also thank you for making some time for us to put a beacon on you and your artistry and what you're doing. I know you have a new mixtape coming out. You have a variety of tapes and videos out and also merchandise.
Definitely.
And also I believe you're on your 10th album now? What 10th?
I don't know.
You're not even counting, right? Maybe am I reaching? Maybe 8.
Yeah, he's probably reaching a little bit.
Okay, that's fair to say. But let's just say this. Anything Empire the Great has put out is on all digital outlets. And he's dropping a new mixtape. CGM mixtape dropping pretty soon too, right?
Yeah, we just waiting on Santana, man.
What up, Santana? Where you at?
Where you at, Santana?
Get you a shape up, baby. You're going to have to get a hell of Jazzy Jeff's barber and get Santana a shape up, B. You know what I mean?
For real.
This shit bullshit, man.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring him back.
Fuck with you, though. What's up, me, yo? As always, it's organic. It's always a pleasure, brother, putting a beacon on your skills and your contributions to the city.
Well, you already know, family.
It's good. The Bleed Blood signing off.